think it's only natural that the angels are going to observe the human condition and free will, and some, like Anna, are going to choose to fall.
Obedience has to be the primary raison d'etre of angels because they have to be these ultimate soldiers. Disobeying is the worst possible thing that an angel could do.
The fall from grace appears in a number of mythologies, and I think it's best personified in our Western tradition, where angels choose their own destruction.
For example, Anna chose to fall and remove herself from the celestial army and become a human, and that's viewed as one of the greatest crimes you can kind of imagine.
I'm sure I have a death sentence on my head.
Wait a minute, I don't understand. So angels can just become human?
Kinda hurts. Try cutting your kidney out with a butter knife. That kinda hurt. I ripped out my grace.
Come again?
My grace, it's energy. Hacked it out and fell.
For us, what sort of inspired the story of Anna, was the fall of Lucifer. He fell for these really complicated, interesting human reasons.
According to the legends of Judaism, Satan is described as being jealous of human beings and our role as being made in the image of God. The Bible doesn't tell us really anything about that process. There's a reference to a struggle in heaven in which the archangel Michael battles with Satan and Satan is thrown to the earth. How their story plays out, we don't see that in the scripture at all. We just see references to other stories that existed outside of the Bible.
In the creation of man story in the Quran, God speaks to the angels and tells them that he is going to create upon earth a vicegerent, a viceroy, someone who's going to inherit the earth. Now, he showed off Adam to the angels and told the angels, prostrate, bow yourselves before this incredible creation of mine. Satan, or Iblis, as he's known in the Quran, refused to bow. He felt jealousy, he felt a rage, he felt an envy that consumed him.
Some believe that when Satan and his legions fell to earth, they lost their grace from heaven and were, in a sense, well, enlightened of what God was, what the earth was, what sin was.
And they make the choice to punish the instruments of their fall, humanity.
In their world, humanity came along kind of late in the game, and one of the most sort of toxic and dangerous aspects of it for an angel's sense of security and stability was this notion of free will. So the example that humanity kind of puts forth, almost it sort of corrupts certain angels because they see this supermarket of options that the humans get to kind of play with as God's favorites. And they want to, some of them want to play in that world.
And in our mind, Azazel was one of those first demons.
Azazel is among the most devout demons, fanatical, really. They have their own religion. They have their creator myth. Their creator is not God because they don't believe they're a part of that plan. Their creator is Lucifer. So they have their own God, and their God is absent as much as our God as far as this universe is concerned.
He is this goat figure, half goat, half man, all demon. And he was one of the 4 demon helpers of Lucifer. And he, of course, causes all sorts of mischief and problems throughout the world.
Teaching people cunning arts of metalwork and silver work, etc. So it's very interesting. He's teaching people skills, but he's also teaching them evil ways. So Azazel is an interesting character in Enoch because of that.
He really represented sort of the broadening of the canvas of the show, and that there is this grand plan out there.
Azazel is very powerful for, again, for creating chaos. And the forces of chaos are choices that we make.
I mean, when you think about that, like, that's a real mind bender, and something we sort of loved and got inspired by in our story of Angels and Demons. For Anna, it's because she made a choice, period. You know, once you're talking about angels. She made her own choice. That is something angels are not allowed to do.
The great struggle of these angels is being on patrol and suddenly having a conflict of heart. I don't think they would be watchable or enjoyable if there weren't an element of heart to these characters.
And that's why imaginative leaps like thinking about angels and demons are attractive, because it puts a face to something that's not seen. And that the idea that there are powers at work in the world that are beyond our comprehension, our ability to identify. That's a very real, visceral experience that we have today.